Joining us now, retired Brigadier General Mark Kimmitt, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Middle East Policy. Good morning. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Let's start with the U.S. military presence in Puerto Rico right now, a base that hadn't seen a lot of activity until recently, and now it is buzzing. What do you make of that posture?
Well, again, as we've so often talked about, Marni, I think this is an example of coercive diplomacy. It's not necessarily talking about our intentions, but it's showing our capabilities. Look, the president could order our sons and daughters into a ground combat inside of Venezuela, but right now, I think that is a very, very low probability. And candidly, I think this is more saber rattling than it is anything else.
And on the Venezuelan side, what do we know about their military might?
I think we can sort of estimate that it's a fairly weak organization made up mostly of patriots and militia members, but not anything that would be close to what the United States could field. But they know the terrain, they know that area, they know that type of jungle fighting that would happen in much of that area. So they would have a bit of advantage, but I don't think it would be a very long operation, perhaps a counterinsurgency type operation. But they certainly are no match for the overall capability of our Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines.
These boat strikes, General, have been at the center of a lot of controversy. The administration will say these boats were filled with drugs, deadly drugs that were headed to the United States, and the people on these boats are a danger, and they've been doing this for a long time. We have to go after them. Is that getting clouded in the minutia of the first strike versus the second strike?
No, I think you're characterizing it right, Marni. The fact remains is we have to pull back and not look at the minutia. We have more people killed in America every year from fentanyl that's coming from those locations than have been killed since the end of World War II in combat. We've got to understand that we've said for years and years we have a war on drugs, and now we're seeing that war taken to the people that are producing that. Joe Biden said this in 1979. We ought to put together an international strike force. So this is not new, and I'm glad to see that we're doing something that protects American citizens against drugs that just kill and wipe out communities.
That said, what are the parameters around carrying out these missions, and has everything, in your mind, been lawful based on the evidence that we have?
Well, of course, you've got the international law of the seas. Operations on the seas have some fairly specific types of parameters, as you would say. I haven't fully seen or been presented with all the evidence on that second strike. But the fact that I heard that Admiral Howard spent an hour between the first strike and the second strike with his lawyers discussing whether this was an appropriate target tells me that he is trying to hew very, very closely to the rules of engagement and lawful conduct.
Is the video the only evidence, and what else would Congress want to look at here?
Oh, look, I think that we've got to understand that video collection is just one element of intelligence collection. We have human intelligence, spies, we have signal intelligence, we have information that comes off of our satellites. We have prisoners that have been repatriated to their countries for prosecution that we learn a lot from. So I think when you put that comprehensive intelligence picture together, it is my belief that the Secretary of Defense and Admiral Howard know what they're doing and know why they're doing it.
Brigadier General Mark Kimmitt, appreciate your time as always, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.